Iceberg! We're doing an iceberg today, ladies and gentlemen. Not only are we doing an iceberg, but we are doing an alien/UFO iceberg. But first, we gotta give credit to the guy who made this, Emilios260. The link to his post will be in the description down below. This is a pretty big iceberg, so I'm only gonna be doing 5 from each level. And without further ado, let's start this. Starting first, we have Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book stands as one of the most significant stories in the history of official UFO investigations in the United States, representing a systematic effort by the U.S. Air Force to examine reports of unidentified flying objects from 1952 to 1969. Based at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, the program was established to address a growing number of reports from civilian and military personnel, assessing potential threats to national security and exploring the scientific basis of these phenomena. The project analyzed over 12,000 sightings, employing a structured methodology to categorize and evaluate each case. The origins of Project Blue Book trace back to an event when pilot Kenneth Arnold reported observing 9 crescent-shaped objects moving at high speeds near Mount Rainier, Washington. He described what he saw as saucers skipping on water, popularizing the term flying saucers, prompting widespread public interest and subsequent Air Force investigations. Under Captain Edward J. Rubhilt's leadership, Blue Book adopted the term UFO to foster a more neutral investigation framework. Some big cases stood out. In 1952, radar systems in Washington, D.C. detected unidentified objects, prompting the deployment of jet aircraft for interception. The U.S. Air Force subsequently attributed these detections to atmospheric temperature inversions, which can create radar anomalies, though this explanation remains subject to debate. Next on our list, we have Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters refer to the unidentified aerial phenomenon observed by Allied and Axis pilots during World War II, particularly from late 1944 to 1945 over Europe and the Pacific. These mysterious lights, often described as glowing orbs or balls of fire, appeared to follow aircrafts without causing harm. Sightings typically involve small luminous objects, red, orange, or white, measuring 1 to 5 meters in diameter, capable of matching plane speeds up to 400 miles per hour. Pilots reported them pacing formations, vanishing abruptly, or performing impossible maneuvers for known technology. A 2024 Harvard study suggests some might be German reconnaissance flares or misidentified aircrafts, dismissing extraterrestrial origins. However, UFO logistics argue patterns indicate intelligent control, linking them to modern UAP. Evidence includes pilot logs, radar tracks, and declassified memos, though no physical remnants were recovered. Next, we have Aerial School UFO. The Aerial School UFO incident occurred on September 16, 1994, in Ruwa, Zimbabwe, where 62 school children aged 5 to 12 reported seeing a craft land near their playground and encounter strange beings. This event, witnessed during a break, marks a unique case due to a number of young, independent observers and its documentation by local media and researchers. The children described a silver disc-shaped object landing 100 meters away, accompanied by 2 beings about 1 meter tall, with large eyes, thin bodies, and black outfits. Some reported telepathic messages about environmental destruction. Teacher Sally Blackwell and journalist Cynthia Hind investigated, with Hind interviewing the children, whose accounts remained consistent despite no prior UFO experience. Harvard psychiatrist John Mack later visited in 1994, recorded their drawings and testimonies, noting their sincerity and lack of cultural contamination. Evidence includes video interviews, drawings, and Hind's report, published in the Mutual UFO Network journal. Skeptics suggest mass hysteria or misidentification of a plane or a balloon. The case's credibility stems from the children's age and lack of coordination, though no physical trace was found. Area 51. Area 51 is a highly classified U.S. military base located within the Nevada Test and Training Range, approximately 89 miles northwest of Las Vegas. Established in the 1950s, it is officially recognized as a site for testing experimental aircraft and weapon systems, but its secretive nature has fueled widespread speculation about its role in UFO and extraterrestrial research. The most prominent theory links Area 51 to the 1947 Roswell incident, suggesting it houses wreckage and bodies from the crashed alien spacecraft. Declassified reports clarified Roswell involved a Project Module balloon, but conspiracy proponents argue evidence was relocated to Area 51. Bob Lazar, a self-proclaimed former employee, claimed in 1989 to have worked on alien craft propulsion systems, though his credentials remain unverified and his story is widely debated. Kenneth Arnold. Kenneth Arnold was an American businessman and pilot, widely recognized as the individual whose 1947 sighting catalyzed modern UFO interest in the United States. On June 24, 1974, while flying his Call-Air A2 over the Cascade Range near Mount Rainier, Washington, Arnold observed 9 unusual objects moving at high speed. His description of their motion as resembling saucers skipping on water after landing in Yakima, Washington, he reported the sighting to the press, and the story spread rapidly, appearing in the newspapers like the East Oregonian on June 25, 1947. Arnold's own sketches and interviews preserved in archives like the University of Idaho's Special Collections provide primary evidence, though no physical traces were recovered. For the first one in this tier, we have sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is a common sleep disorder often linked to UFO and abduction experiences, where individuals awaken unable to move, sometimes reporting hallucinations of figures or lights. In UFO context, it's frequently cited as an explanation for alleged encounters, with sufferers describing shadowy beings or gray aliens. The real Men in Black. The real Men in Black, or MIB, referred to the mysterious figures reported in UFO lore, often described as dark-suited individuals who appear to silence or intimidate witnesses following sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena. The MIB are characterized by their menacing demeanor and unusual features, and the ability to appear suddenly. Evidence is anecdotal, relying on witness testimonies, letters, and early UFO investigator notes. With no physical proof like official records, declassified FBI files from the 1950s to the 1960s mention MIB inquiries but attribute them to hoaxes or misidentifications of federal agents. The Rex Heflin photos. The Rex Heflin photos were taken on August 3, 1965 in Santa Ana, California, depict a hat-shaped UFO with a ring of smoke, captured by highway investigator Heflin using a Polaroid camera. The series of 4 images show the object hovering and departing, initially deemed genuine but later questioned as a hoax involving a model. Reanalyzed in the 2000s, including computer enhancements, validated the photos as authentic, ruling out strings or manipulation. Richard S. Shaver. Richard Shaver's contributions to early UFOlogy manifest in his Shaver Mystery. Shaver describes Deros, degenerate robotic entities, as malevolent forces emanating from hollow earth caverns, tormenting individuals with telepathic rays and voicing threats like, "We control the shadows you fear." Amplified by editor Ray Palmer in Amazing Stories, blended purported auditory hallucinations with ancient Atlantean lore, suggesting extraterrestrial or interdimensional origins from these beings. Scholarly appraisal views this as symptomatic of schizophrenia. Not surprised, yet its renaissance with hollow earth theories endure in conspiracy discourse. Portals. Portals in ufological theory denote interdimensional apertures facilitating transit between realities. Sites like Skinwalker Ranch exhibit reoccurring portal activity, with witnesses reporting spectral figures emerging and articulating warnings. Empirical observations include electromagnetic fluctuations and visual distortions, corroborated by declassified documents on anomalous communications. First up on this tier is deaths caused by UFOs. This idea stems from anecdotal reports and theories suggesting that encounters with UFOs might have led to human deaths. Believe it or not, there are some examples. Frederick Valentinge in 1978 was an Australian pilot flying over Baystrat when he reported seeing a strange craft. Afterwards, his radio went silent, and him and his plane disappeared.
Delta Sierra Juliet, Roger. What are your intentions?
To go to King Island, Melbourne, the strange aircraft is bothering us properly again. And it's bothering, and it's not an aircraft. Delta Sierra Juliet, Melbourne.
Some speculate a UFO was involved, though no wreckage or body was ever found to confirm this. The PK Man. The PK Man refers to Ted Owens, a self-proclaimed psychic who claims to possess psychokinetic abilities, powers to influence physical events with his mind, which were enhanced by contact with extraterrestrials. That's actually all I can find on him. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, it helps me out dearly, and let's continue with the video. Animal mutilation. Animal mutilation cases involve livestock, often cattle, found dead with surgical-like removals of organs like tongues or with no blood or struggle marks. Reported since the 1960s, especially in the US, these incidents fuel UFO theories of alien sampling. The 1974 Snippy horse case in Colorado showed precise cuts and no tracks, sparking national interest and linking it to UFO sightings. In 2019, 5 bulls in Oregon were similarly mutilated with no evidence of human or predator involvement. Aliens love our bread. The idea that aliens love our bread comes from UFO abduction and contactee stories where extraterrestrials show a fascination with human food, and especially bread. In the 1980s, an Oregon abductee reported being offered bread on a UFO, with aliens watching intently, hinting at shared taste, suggesting aliens might enjoy our simple foods. Sentient UFOs. Proposing that some UFOs are not mechanical crafts but living intelligent organisms.
Yo dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could join it or something.
This theory suggests UFOs exhibit biological behaviors, such as growth, evasion, or even reproduction. A striking example is in the 1952 Flatwoods monster incident in West Virginia, where witnesses encountered a 10-foot entity with glowing eyes descending from a UFO, described as organic rather than mechanical. In the 1980s, Mexican UFO sightings captured on video showed craft splitting and reforming like amoebas, suggesting life analyzed in UFOlogy journals. Filiberto Cardenas abduction. On January 3, 1979, Cardenas, a Cuban exile living in Florida, claimed he was driving when a bright light enveloped his car, leading to an encounter with extraterrestrials. He recounted being taken aboard a craft where gray-skinned beings with large eyes conducted medical examinations, including a tour of his body with a scanning device. Bigfoot activity near UFOs. Reports of Bigfoot intersecting with UFO sightings date back to the 1970s. Witnesses described seeing the hairy creature alongside strange lights or crafts, argued that Bigfoot might be an alien experiment, a dimensional entity, or even a pilot of UFOs, citing cases where sightings both occur within hours or miles of each other. Phantom social workers. Phantom social workers is a strange phenomenon where people, often new parents, report being visited by officials claiming to check on their kids, but these visitors turn out to be mysterious and untraceable. What makes it weird is that these encounters sometimes happen alongside UFO sightings, missing time, or abduction stories, leading some to think they might be aliens pretending to be humans to watch us or hide something. Usually it starts in the late night with someone knocking at your door, and the quote-unquote social workers act oddly, avoiding questions or leaving suddenly. Round trip to hell in a flying saucer. This concept revolves around Michael's account of a supposed 1952 experience in Bakersfield, California, where he claimed to have been taken on a psychic journey aboard a flying saucer to an extraterrestrial realm he identified as hell, from which he was saved by a vision of Jesus Christ. Explain that, atheist. Cisco Grove incident. The witness, Donald Trump, was on a bow hunting trip with 2 friends. After becoming separated from the group, he found himself alone in the woods as night fell. He reported seeing a strange light in the sky which he assumed was a helicopter looking for him. However, he realized it was silent and didn't behave like any aircraft he knew. The craft landed nearby and strange humanoid figures came to him. He described them in silvery suits with one robotic-like figure with glowing eyes. Terrified, he climbed into a tree to hide. The ordeal lasted the entire night until the beings finally left at dawn. When he was rescued the next day, he shared his terrifying story. Investigators later found burn marks and physical evidence at the site that seemed to support parts of his claim. For the last tier, we're going to go strong and start off with the 1947 Brooklyn, New York encounter. As Lewis stood on the roof of his apartment building at 602 44th Street, he was looking at the sky when he spotted a bright cigar-shaped object hovering about 200 feet above the ground. The object then descended about 20 feet above a nearby rooftop, and to his amazement, a man-like figure emerged. He described it as around 5 foot tall, wearing a tight shimmering suit and a helmet-like headgear. Moments later, the saucer ascended rapidly and disappeared into the night sky. The encounter prompted Lewis to report it the next day to the police and local media, detailing the silent craft and figures he saw that night. The 1981 Phantom Clown Wave. In 1981, a series of reported sightings of menacing clowns went across the United States. This phenomenon, which happened in the spring of the year, involved children reporting encounters with individuals dressed as clowns, complete with white faces, red noses, and colorful clothing, who allegedly attempted to lure them into vans. Children describe the clowns as driving black or bright colored vans, sometimes armed with weapons, though no adults or police ever confirmed the sightings. UFOs with tentacles. Witnesses describe objects in the sky resembling jellyfish, emerging prominently in recent years through video evidence and eyewitness accounts. One of the most notable cases is the jellyfish UAP footage, released by journalist Jeremy Corbell in January 2024, supposedly filmed in 2018 over a US joint operations base in Iraq. The thermographic video shows a translucent object with tentacle-like appendages gliding through the sky. Witnesses and analysts, including physicist Dr. Matthew Sedacious, noted its unusual temperature shifts, ruling out a simple camera smudge due to its size changes with zoom and movement relative to the camera's reticle. Stick people. This refers to sightings of tall, thin humanoid figures resembling stick figures. These figures, often described as pitch black with no facial features, have been reported globally since the early 2000s. In 2015 Brazil, locals recounted a tall, thin figure moving quickly through the forest, adding to the pattern of reports. These details suggest a non-human entity, with theories ranging from ancient beings depicted in cave art to manifestations of psyche. Secret elevators. Referring to hidden or restricted elevator systems rumored to exist within buildings, secret elevators are speculated to connect to underground bases where abductees claim access to alien facilities, though there is no evidence of this. Well, we made it to the end of the video, but before you click off, tell me what you thought of this video. It helps me with the quality of my videos, and more importantly, it makes the video better for you. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week with one of my best ones yet. Later!